So I think a lot about how technology intersects with society and how it affects things. This is that question of like, what does that look like when you think about where we came from and where are we going? And when we think about where we're going, I want us to be influenced by our history and by our past to help us to guide us along that path. Because a lot of technology is not created by us, it's not created for us. And so we, I think as indigenous people, have to wrangle that technology and make it work for us. Shapai Masma, Ani Apchugik, Leonard Bruce. My name's Leonard Bruce. I'm originally from here in the community, District 4, Stotnik. Grew up on Lower Santan, down in Lower Santan on Hilltop and Shuttle. So right around the canal, almost drowned in that waterfall when I was a little kid. Great experiences growing up on the res. I wanted to first and foremost say thank you to everyone for coming. I really appreciate it. This is a showcase of the project that I've been working on for the past year and a half. The main reason for this event is to celebrate. It's to celebrate being done with this project and this fellowship after a year of really hard work and a lot of thought and conversation. So as you're coming in, there are these posters on the walls. You might have seen those. A lot of those pictures are the inspirations for what became the models. And hopefully from these pictures, you'll see like where they came from, where the ideas came from. Walking around over here on this table, I pulled out a bunch of books that I used when I first started out on this journey, trying to learn about my community's history, Akimal history, as well as Tona Atam history, and realizing how interconnected a lot of our backgrounds and our ancestors and our history is. And so this is where I started. And I also have what's called the Atam Learning Library. It's something that's publicly available on my website right now, and it's a large database of over 6,000 different sources that are related to Atam history, books, journal articles, a whole bunch of stuff. This is the secondary part. So this is the main piece of the project, 3D printing, but I did a quick little, how do I do the 3D models? I have the 3D modeling software up on my computer, as well as this FDM printer or plastic printer that's actively printing an oraski right now. When you move on a little bit, I also have some of these, a sample of the models that I've created and painted, as well as just some other cool prints that I brought because they're my favorite things and I wanted to bring them and showcase them because I'm very proud of them. We also have in the middle here, please take a look. I have this diorama I created with some of the 3D printed models. So everything on here is 3D printed except for the rocks. So the rocks are made out of pink insulation foam actually. I did a bunch of painting and sand and stuff on there to make them look cool. When these models come out, you'll see like these oraski over here that are gray, they come out in just bare plastic or bare resin. The idea that we have behind this is we want to have these models unpainted. We want them to be kind of raw for people who get them so that you can impart your own creativity into them. You can see over here some of these bigger models my daughters did, because one of the ones that I like to show off a lot is this one that my daughter did, which is ice cream themed. She put some ice cream in this little basket, which 10 points for creativity. But the idea behind it is you see those models and you're able to impart a little bit of yourself into them in the painting process, but also it's to create a conversation. So one of the cool things that I've found by going out into the community, to elder concerns, to district meetings, is meeting with not just elders, but other adults who have these stories around these models of like, I remember growing up and hearing these stories from my grandma about the oraski. I remember the vato, like I remember the vato growing up. My mom, it was really important to her to have that in our backyard. And so one of the cool things about that is not only do you get to put your own creativity and vision into that model, but you also unlock this ability for these stories to be told. And so that's a big part of this. I do want to give a big thank you to the Heritage Center. I'm really grateful for the opportunity to be here. I'm really grateful that we have the opportunity to have the museum open. I also want to say thank you to the Center for Cultural Power. I applied to them and received the funding to do this project. They helped pay for salary, operating costs, a whole lot of the things to help build me up and get me to this place where I felt good creating art. I also want to say thank you to Alicia and Three Precious Miracles. They were my main partner in this project. Three Precious Miracles does a lot of work with youth in the foster care system, and they were one of the main partners that we created these models for, really to create a way for youth in the foster care system to have a something that they can connect with our history and with our culture. But also, as I'm an urban member now, I live in Casa Grande. I grew up out here in the community like I talked about, but being outside of the community, you have to make an effort to come back. You have to be physically present a lot of times to get these lessons imparted to you, to hear about things, to see things. And so one of the other reasons, in addition to the youth in the foster care system, is all of our members in diaspora. Being able to access this information, being able to access parts of their identity and culture and history in a very accessible way. And that's like the 3D printing piece of it. And so when I think about the future, I want more people to learn these lessons of history. I want more people to learn the language. I want more people to at least try to dip their foot into saying some words like I did. It's not always perfect, but it's a start. That's like a lot of my work. I think about what is the future going to look like for me and my kids and my grandkids and the other generations that are there. And how do I make it as accessible as possible so that they can learn and be influenced by our ancestors who gave all of this information to me to be able to pass on.